Pumps, what's going on?
Well, one of my favorite things is happening, MAGA accountability. And what we have, a woman named Tina Peters, who is just by all accounts, just a horrible bitch. She was the Mesa County, Colorado clerk. And what she did, because she's so MAGA, is she went in and tried to manipulate voting machines in favor of Donald Trump. Since that time, she has been nothing short of a walking disaster. You know, violating protective orders, doing all the things MAGA, lying, podcasting, walking around with a film crew, getting in people's faces because she's so MAGA. I mean, she and Donald Trump, you couldn't get a piece of paper between them. So she's been arrested and
For voter fraud?
violating her fiduciary duty to the electorate, the people that elected her in Mesa County for trying to manipulate the voting machine.
Okay.
So finally, the day of reckoning has arrived. But I just want to let everybody in. When I say you can't get a piece of paper between she and Trump, let me show you this video.
Yeah. Oh, you are. Yeah. Come on. Yeah.
All right, Tina.
Okay, so I have some questions here.
Okay.
Counselor, this woman is a member of the MAGA party who's always claiming election interference, election fraud, the other side cheats, et cetera, et cetera. And here she is cheating, interfering, lying, and then buttering up to the orange, despicable Donald Lecter herself.
Absolutely.
So she's charged with a crime.
She's charged with crimes. And let me
She's criming.
she's criming. She violated the law on multiple levels.
And these are serious charges.
Serious charges.
Right.
So she gets arrested. And I want you to see how she behaved when she was arrested.
Go with me. Go with me. Let go of me. Oh, no. Let go of me. It hurts. Let go of me.
Do you understand?
That is outrageous.
It's outrageous. And it is just the definition of white privilege. Just there it is in a nutshell. Can you imagine a person of color behaving that way? What would happen?
They would be batoned, taken to the ground, and they would not be that soft.
No.
With a person of color, whether it's male or female. That is just outrageous, the way that she believes that she is so exceptional and the exception to the rule, and that the rules don't apply to her, and that she could be a member of a political party that is, back the blue, law and order, blah, blah. And here she is, a huge criminal that then starts treating police officers that are just doing their jobs. By arresting her, she starts treating them like shit. And then I'm sure she probably is one of those white women that just demeans the shit out of black people and says, well, if you comply, then you wouldn't get killed. You've heard all that rhetoric from white people. You know that she's one of the people that says that. And what did she do? She didn't comply. But what didn't happen to her is she didn't fall prey to police brutality, one could argue, because she's white.
Absolutely. And the sad fact of these MAGA people, what is so sad when I see that is they have ruined their lives for a lie. We have people in jail, in prisons for the behavior. They stopped the steal. They were trying to overthrow the government in honor of Donald Trump, and it was all a lie. It's such a waste of humanity. For him.
They give up their sanity, their probably so many friendships, and they go to jail, and they're all eaten up with the dumb shits for that guy.
Right.
It's wild. Okay, what happens next?
Okay, so what happens next is she was sentenced on Thursday of this week, and the judge was having no part of her BS. And when you watch this, in my fantasy, when I watched it, I fantasized about Donald Trump being on the receiving end of what this judge said to sweet Tina.
There are many things in my mind that are crystal clear about this case. You are no hero, you abused your position, and you're a charlatan who used and is still using your prior position in office to peddle a snake oil that's been proven to be junk time and time again. In your world, it's all about you. But at bottom, this case was about your corrupt conduct and how no one is above the law. No one in this country has absolute power.
I've seen the full clip of this, and he reads her the filth.
He does.
He lets her have it. And some of the most poignant things that this judge says is he talks about a lot of defendants sitting before him come from broken families, have a history of alcoholism, drug addiction, severe abuse, and they can pitch to the judge that they are seeking therapies and therapeutic treatments to try to reconcile whatever crime it was committed. And he has mitigating circumstances that he can factor in when weighing the sentencing. To her, he says, you have none of those things. None. She is a white, privileged woman who believes the rule of law doesn't apply to her. And I think this is a sickness that started at the top of the ticket. We have trickle down incompetence. You also have trickle down entitlement. Donald Trump has enforced the worst impulses of white people to lean into the systems that we were raised in that promote white supremacy. And he has ignited it, and you see it at its worst among all of these followers. What, she's going to jail for how long, Pumps?
9 years. And here, I just have to point this out because I'm petty.
Let's hear it.
One of the extenuating circumstances she wanted the judge to consider is that she can't go to jail because she sleeps on a magnetic mattress for her back. And so jail just really can't be a place for her because she needs a magnetic mattress. And that bitch is going away on a cold, hard cot for 9 years. And she is ever so deserving of that sentence. And kudos to the judge for staying out of politics and looking at the situation and seeing exactly what it is and giving her a sentence that is comparable to the crimes and the breach of trust that she performed.
And this is the response that we needed as a
Absolutely.
country. When you see people lying and the cheaters always, whether it's a personal relationship or in a sporting event or in a big campaign, the cheaters always project what they're doing. If you're in a relationship with a guy and he thinks you're cheating all the time, more than likely he's the cheater because he's thinking about it. So the reason Donald Trump and all of his sycophants and all of his supporters talk about cheating all the time is because they're cheaters.
Right.
Look at gerrymandering. Look at what they're doing with the voting rolls. Look at the laws passed in Georgia where you can't take somebody a bottle of water while they're standing out in these poor neighborhoods for 10 hours to vote. And so look at the laws they want to pass to try to raise the voting age. One party is always making it more difficult for people to vote. And in her case, she's trying to cheat. Nobody, Tina, nobody likes a cheater. And I'm so grateful to see this. I don't like incarceration. I don't like a lot of, the punitive nature of things. But in this instance, I believe that judge was 100% spot on because you have to send a signal. You cannot cheat in the United States of America, especially when you have a fiduciary duty to carry out as someone in charge of the election. It is just beyond the pale. And every time they do these studies about who's cheating, it's always somebody on the right.
And they're unrepentant.
Totally.
They do not even try to hide it. You're exactly right. They're unrepentant and they're defiant. So, Tina, check you out in 9 years. And then you've got 3 years of probation after that. Hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, with your little ankle bracelet, and you can get back to your magnetic mattress in a decade. You know what? You know what's so screwed up about a lot of these people is they get out of these situations and they're still so indoctrinated into the cult. And so it's going to be interesting to see in the aftermath of MAGA how long it takes for it to filter out.
You know what I'm interested in is how history is going to write about MAGA and its enablers. What they're going to say about former President Trump. I'm pretty sure I know what they're going to say about him. But the people that enable him, how is history going to look at them?
I'll tell you exactly how. You can look no further than the Nazi Party.
Right.
Because it is the exact same thing. It is gaslighting, fascism, authoritarian rule under a strong leader where you find a common enemy to hate. And they wanted to deport Jews. MAGA wants to deport immigrants. The similarities between Nazi Germany and MAGA portion of America are breathtaking and terrifying and scary. And history has not been kind at all, as it should not be, to Nazi Germany and Hitler and its supporters.
I'm absolutely ready for that chapter in history to be over and start anew.
All right, that will be all for today. Stick with us.
It's so entertaining.